applause for our last set of panelists. And now we move into our next panel by Rajesh Ranjan, founder Prishify. Rajesh, please take over.
Thank you everyone. So last session was pretty interesting, building in India for the world. And thank you to the panelists. Thanks to the panelists for such wonderful session. So the next session is, the theme is building for Bharat. So let me start with my own introduction. My name is Rajesh Ranjan. I am the founder of a company called Krishify. So at Krishify, we are building a social commerce platform for Indian farmers. We have been the first platform to build a farmers digital platform at scale. We have got over 10 million farmers from across the country, from really the remotest of the places. And we believe we are solving some of the very core problems of Indian agriculture, bringing farmers together from different genres and letting them discuss their problems together, finding solutions within the community, because there is a whole lot of unstructured knowledge that lies within the farmers community, right? So farmers can sort of discuss their issues, and then they can also connect with the other parts of the ecosystem, other stakeholders like traders, like sellers, even companies, manufacturers, and purchase products, sell their produce at better rates. In this entire process, I would also like to thank Google's team for their continuous support. Our app, the entire reach is through Google Play, Google App Store, and Google had also launched an App Skill Academy last year that we were a part of, right? And through that program, we were able to sort of optimize a lot of things for the app to have a greater reach and better performance of the platform. So moving on now, to introduce the next session, which is the theme is building for Bharat. I would like to introduce and invite the moderator, Mr. Dinesh Agarwal, founder and CEO of IndiaMART. Thank you.
So let me quickly invite on board the panel, which is starting with Mr. Dinesh Agarwal, founder and CEO, IndiaMART, InterMESH Limited. Can I please have on board Dinesh ji for sharing the session? Oh, you're there already? My bad, I missed on you. Let me now quickly have on stage Mr. Kalyan, Sivasailam, co-founder SC Networks. Can we have a big round of applause for Kalyan, please? Inviting on stage Prashant, Sachan, founder AppsforBharat. A big round of applause, please keep the applause going. Next up on stage is a heartthrob for a lot of youngsters, Prafull Billore, founder MBA Chaiwala, India. Yes, keep that applause going. And I would now like to invite Robin Jha, co-founder and CEO, NirogStreet. Yes, we need that applause going, and a louder round of applause, please. Do we have Robin here? Also, I would like to invite on stage Sruthi Kannan from Cisco Startups, and we will wait for Robin to join, but Sruthi, can we have you on stage, and can we please have a big round of applause for this panel? We now also have Robin here, and I would now request Dinesh to please share the panel.
Hello. So building for Bharat is a very unique use case and a very important use case. You might have heard the success stories of ShareChat, Khata Book, Vyapar, and enormous such items. You might have seen you might be a user of Public, you might be a user of Josh, you might have seen Kuku FM, you might have read stories from Pratilipi. Jirodha. Jirodha is the most talked about one in the last 2 years, most profitable ones. And don't forget our own COVID app that we survived through during the second wave of COVID while we were doing all that. And now DigiYatra. So there are so many very, very important and unique use cases to India. And nowadays I am seeing even being utilized in Krishi. So whether you see Dehat or whether you see Krishify or whether you see cases like Bharat Agri. And then one of the most oldest use cases, whether it is Shadi.com or Jeevansathi.com or Bharat Matrimony. I don't think anything like that exists anywhere else in the world ever. And very unique to us, astrology, online darshan, mandir darshan, Ayurveda. So many different use cases. And most of you would be very proud to know that Google Pay started as stage in India and then it became Google Pay all over the world. So the payment apps were generally very failure all across the world except China. It is only now after it, even Amazon Pay was started because of India and Google Pay was also started because of India. So many different use cases which is very unique to India. TiE has gathered some of the very unique use cases here and let me see how we'll start. We'll start with Sruthi and Sruthi comes from Cisco. So why don't you please give us a little bit of brief, maybe just in 3 lines. We really don't have a lot of time and we'll try to cover more Bharat stories rather than what Cisco does.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to TiE and Mr. Dinesh for opening this up. I think you spoke about a lot of very, very unique applications that we have around us. For us at Cisco, the mission is to see how can we tie this all. This looks like indeed the dots that we keep for the adornment of the rangoli in front of our houses. But the dots don't make up for an interesting use case, right? You really need to weave in the kind of interesting designs are out there. You need to put in the colors. So that's when it really becomes a very interesting rangoli. So that's the proposition that we at Cisco bring together, weaving the dots, connecting the unconnected, and bringing new use cases which may power your Ayurveda, astrologies, all the way to the roti makan kapada kind of agriculture to space technology and even quantum technology. So we're looking at the entire coverage of different kind of applications and use cases that Cisco can potentially work with on. So we work with startups across all stages. We engage with early stage startups all the way to the most mature ones and partner with them on their growth journey. So the idea is to see how we can really add value to your growth journey and be part of your growth trajectory.
Thank you. Thank you. So, just tell us maybe one example of a very unique use case. We were talking in the corridor and you were talking about meds, Bharat Meds. Tell us a little bit about that, how that is going to change the very unique requirement of India, Bharat Med.
So even if we have an Audi or a Benz car, you need good roads. Without a good road, if we just have a pot-filled road, it doesn't matter if you have a WagonR or an Audi or a Benz. It is all the same, right? So we are looking at building and strengthening the infrastructure and looking at how we can be part of major deployments like BharatNet, which is actually touching 2.5 lakh gram panchayats across the country. Very recently, we have worked with Airtel and Apollo hospitals on rolling out 5G powered ambulances. So now these 5G powered ambulances are going to serve every citizen who is in need of critical care at the right moment.
And what is 5G power ambulance?
5G powered ambulance is going to bridge that gap between the time that an accident occurs all the way to reaching the emergency room, it is the most critical hour, right? And if you have to wait to save the person only after they reach the hospital, we are going to lose a lot of important time and the efforts that have to go into saving that person. So this 5G ambulance will really, with the power of the mobile technology and all the various multiple medical devices coming into picture in this ambulance itself, because you need to connect in real time on video. You need to take multiple parameters. You need to look for the blood pressure. You need to look for the oxygen. All of these have to come into picture together so that you're able to give that critical care by the time the patient reaches the hospital.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you. Now, one of the very unique founders is here. राम मंदिर के बारे में तो सबने सुना है, श्री मंदिर के बारे में किसने सुना है? So let's Prashant talk about Shri Mandir. What is Shri Mandir and why it is so unique and why is it here today?
Sure, thank you so much. The company I'm building is called AppsforBharat. With this company, we are a tech startup which is focusing on building products for the devotional and spiritual needs of Indian users. The idea is that can we build products that help people practice their belief systems, and in return, can these products offer people hope, a lot of happiness, peace, and whatnot? Our first app is called Shri Mandir. Just to help you understand what that app is. By data today and by visitor count, we are the largest temple in India, even though we're in cloud. Now, what happens on this particular app is, when you come on this particular app, you choose the various gods and goddesses that you believe in, and you set up a digital shrine on your phone. And then this app helps you do Mansik Puja. Now, Mansik Puja is a concept where, in a world where you don't have time, whatever little or big you can do to be able to connect with the Almighty or connect with your inner self, you can do that. Now, the idea is, what you know about calm and headspace, if you localize it for an Indian user, and right now we're focusing on Hinduism, so for a Hindu user, this is what the app offers back to its users. Now, you set up your digital shrine, you come daily and you pray using multiple tools that we give you. On top of it, we'll give you assistance, information, and everything that you would need to fulfill your devotional and spiritual needs. So that's what the app does.
नहीं तो वो तो
Yes.
See, on the spiritual and devotion side, let me tell you some of the information from the IndiaMART categories.
Absolutely.
You know, we get close to 1 million page views per month, okay, on the IndiaMART. And we all know our go-to destination is YouTube when we have to listen to a bhajan, when we have to listen to a shloka, when we have to look for a darshan, and when we have to look for a astrologer or a astronomer, then we go to AstroTalk, and their revenues last year were 116 crores.
Absolutely.
So all that happened, and on your cap table, we have Elevation Capital, Sequoia Capital, BNext, and others.
Yes.
What's the secret sauce?
See, there's no secret sauce.
That's what people are here to understand, right?
There's no secret sauce. I'll tell you what we're building and what's the mission and why these people are supporting us on the mission. Now, for a second, let's stop assuming that I'm Prashant. I'm an average devotee who believes in certain things. It has been 10 years since tech startups have come in and brought a lot of my physical behaviors online. Today, when you think about this one deep behavior that you think about, there is no one big app or big space or digital space for me where I can get everything. That's one. Two, information is everywhere. You'll find this information on YouTube, multiple other sites, but that's the problem. Can you have one trusted platform that gives you everything in one place, based on what region you belong to, based on what cultural biases you have, based on whoever you are, wherever you're from, all of these things are offered to you in the way you would want to consume them. The third part, which is where I differ from many of these platforms, I'm not a content platform. I'm building a habit-forming space for people where people come in. So just to give you data, right? At 4 a.m. in the morning, the usage of my app starts, goes up till 10 a.m. That's where we see one large peak. And what people do is they open the app, they go to the god and goddesses that they actually believe in. They would do that mansik puja. And let's say if they have time, they would listen to music and whatnot. And they would keep on listening to the same music on the same space for many, many days. Just to give you one more data. Today we have 3 million people who use it on a monthly basis. 10% of them use the app on every day of the month. And they have been doing this from the time they have installed the app. So the idea is not to compete with the YouTube or any other guy. Can we build that space where all of these devotees come and we impact their lives? There are hundreds of millions of them who will come to your app and engage. And can you then give all of these Astro Talks of the Word and many more services guys a platform where they can offer these services to these users in a fairly bona fide way?
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you. Okay, moving from mandir and very spiritual thing to a very high-tech thing, X-ray and radiology. You know how very unique use case here is in India. We have for radiology and X-ray and remote medicine, and we know there are so many remote medicine talks. You know, Bharat Med we talked about, 5G ambulances we talked about. Tell us about your company 5C Network, Kalyan. You know, what is so unique about this, and why is that? What is this traction so far? You know, you've been there for 4 years now, 5 years now.
Thank you, sir. Hi, guys. I'm Kalyan from 5C Network. It was a shock to me that when I first started reading about the radiology market, it was a shock to me that just in India alone, it's a $5 billion market. 40,000 crores of spend happened just in the radiology side. And diagnostics is, what, $11 or $12 billion market just in India. And what 5C, which is my company, what we do is that we build AI for analyzing and reading X-rays and CTs and MRI scans. And along with that, we create a network of specialized radiologists who look at these inputs, also obviously add their own inputs, verify these reports, and make these reports available to hospitals and diagnostic centers across the country. So the interesting thing is, in India alone, there are something like 90,000 X-ray machines available today, 7,322 CT scans as of last week, around 3,700 MRI scans, and around 1 lakh ultrasound machines all across the country. There are 14,000 radiologists, and 75% of them are in your top 8 cities of the country, right? So if you look at it just by like area covered by these 75% radiologists, it's trivial compared to the rest of the country. But there are so many machines across the country. And the first and immediate problem that we were solving is access to high quality diagnostics to any hospital or diagnostic center that has a machine and has an internet connectivity. But when we started doing this, we realized that there are a lot of things that we need to do to make this truly an experience that is 10x better for the Indian consumer. And I'll tell you about some of the innovations. So one of the things we do is that a lot of the X-rays on 5C are completely reported by AI and then obviously validated by a radiologist. But we cannot use data given by Stanford, or we can't use the data given by some US or UK hospital, because all of the X-rays are perfectly taken with the right parameters, with no rotation. It's like perfect. India is not like that. Our technicians many times are not as well trained. They are much more in a hurry. Like some of these X-ray machines do 100 scans a day. And so the technician does not have enough time to set the right parameters. The patients are sometimes rotated, etc., etc. So we had to work on Indian data to be able to build a model that can really look at scans from India. It's not like our pathology or our chest looks different from an American chest. But we had to use data made in India to be able to diagnose for Indians. And because of that, we've been able to now, for example, report an X-ray in 8 minutes. And that's really valuable to somebody who, if they don't get the report today, has to lose pay tomorrow.
Interesting that you said, and I can recall that from our IndiaMART use cases. Indian data can be very uniquely diverse. Imagine 25 official languages, some 1,600 different dialects, and they mix language and dialects together. In one sentence, Sruthi can speak Tamil, Kannada, Hindi, and English. Can you please give us an example of that?
In fact, I can sing a song because, there is actually a concept called Mani Pravalam in classical music, where Yeah, I mean, you're throwing googly mere paas. எனக்கு என்ன பண்றதுன்னு ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
Look at this sentence. Now imagine throwing googly mere paas, and I didn't understand the other part of it. I recently learned how to recognize written 4 languages. I can recognize them by whether they are upwards or downwards, and whether they are straight or have bindi on top, or they have a J on top or a tick on top. So I can recognize all the 4 languages written, but I cannot understand them. Now, imagine how many misspellings or how many misspellings of a word misspelling would be there on IndiaMART. Jewelry, we have 300 spellings of jewelry on IndiaMART. Because we are not native, अगर आपको हिंदी में लिखना हो सोना के मुझे पता है कि सोना ही लिखना है, लेकिन अगर मुझे उसको इंग्लिश में लिखना हो, so I can write SOONA, SONA, SHONA, Shona. So I don't know what are different type of spells that I will do for a proper noun like that. But that same cultural problem that you talked about, my son works at Cashify, and he keeps talking about the kind of scratches and kind of dents that he has to detect. He is also an AI ML engineer, and he's working on the same problem as you do. So I definitely agree that this is a difficult problem and different problem for India. Thank you very much for bringing that perspective, that you cannot use, and I can repeat and vouch for that, you cannot use ready-made models built for Google, for Facebook, as it is to your use case in India. Because Indian use cases are far more diverse, far more unique, and have very low quality data and very very thin memory and very thin CPU to process that. So I think you need to really innovate to be able to bring it in the same cost and to be able to use the available technology as it is. Thank you. Now moving on, I think let's go back to our own favorite subject, Ayurveda and alternate medicine. So I can see, on IndiaMART also, we get about million plus sellers on selling different Ayurveda and alternate medicine. We have a large pharma franchisee as well, but what is so special that no other company has been do? Because Ayurveda, alternative medicine is a big market, but we don't know of any home brand, D2C brand beyond NirogStreet and why is that there is a void, and why people are not building for that? Today, if you don't get anything satisfied with the allopathy, then looking for a solution in homeopathy or Ayurveda, it is very difficult to find Ayurveda Charya or Vaidya nowadays. Very difficult to find authentic source of alternative medicine. So tell us about NirogStreet, what has been your journey and how has been the traction so far? I know you have raised a lot of money recently.
So I don't think we've raised a lot of money, we raised some money. So I think for NirogStreet, we believe that people trust Ayurveda, but because of a lot of things that have happened in the last about 50, 60 years, people have stopped trusting the practitioners and the medicines. Right? I'm sure if you take a survey in this room, more than 80-85% of people would have experienced Ayurveda in some form or other. Right? So there's no problem with trust in Ayurveda, it's just the problem of trust in the entire system that has gone away. Right? And I think if you just go 50 years back, Ayurveda was mainstream and modern medicine was alternative, right? In what 50 years has happened is that Ayurveda has become alternative and modern medicine has become mainstream. So that's one of the things that we are obviously working on. Secondly, we are looking at building a full stack play around Ayurveda. So we are not looking to create few medicines or few doctors and then promoting it. We believe that if we have to transact or translate this science which is more than 5,000 years ago old, we will have to really work from the root and then build an entire ecosystem, right? So we've built a community of for Ayurvedic doctors. We are building content around Ayurvedic, around medicines and diseases. We are facilitating doctors with buying medicines. We are facilitating doctors with entire technology where a modern age consumer or a modern age patient can also trust the system in the same way that he does the modern medicine. So in all, what I'm trying to say is that we are trying to build an entire pipe through which anything and everything around Ayurveda can flow, whether it is brands, whether it is patients, whether it is technology or any other thing. And that's why we believe we are in a unique position.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Coffee or chai? Coffee or chai? Chai. So everybody is asking for you. Chai.
चाय की चाय वाला
हाँ? चाय की चाय वाला? चाय वाला या MBA चाय वाला? MBA चाय वाला.
PM भी चाय वाला.
और PM भी चाय वाला, ये आप बोलिए.
PM भी चाय वाला था ना.
Okay. So tell us, is Prafull the MBA chai wala bigger brand? Because I see that there's no dearth of chai in India. I mean, you throw a stone and there'll be 3 chai ka tapri, at least in North India. Now, why do we need another chai wala? Chayos, yes, ho sakta hai mall mein chai wala nahi. They don't allow tapri walas to sit inside the mall. So there's a chayos or chai point, or those are needed. But what's the use case of MBA chai wala? And what, despite the fact that those existed, why did you came into being, and why being so successful?
तो शुरुआत तो एक्सीडेंटली हुई थी, करने कुछ जा रहे थे, हो कुछ गया, और then after 2.5 years on roadside, like टपरी वाला, now today we have more than 150 outlets from Kutch to Kashmir. So basically chai is nothing but a CCD or a Starbucks of chai. They sell chai with 120 rupees, 140 rupees, 150 रुपया, 200 रुपया, और टपरी पे 10 रुपये में मिलता है. But since last couple of years, जब से मेजरली इंटरनेट का इवोल्यूशन बहुत ज़्यादा हुआ है, लोगों का एस्पिरेशन बहुत बढ़ गया है, तो उनको टपरी पे अच्छी चाय मिलती नहीं है, और चायोस की और चाय पॉइंट की अफोर्डेबिलिटी होती नहीं है, तो बीच में MBA चावला जाता है. हम 25 से 40 रुपये तक की एवरेज टिकट साइज में वी सेल चाय इन द रेंज ऑफ 25 to 40 रुपीज़. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम चाय वी मेजरली सेल इंस्पिरेशन एंड मोटिवेशन अलॉन्ग विद चाय, सो दैट मेक्स मोर अस लाइक कि ज़्यादा रीच वहाँ से हमें मिलती है. तो ज्ञान और चाय मिला के MBA चाय वाला हो रहा है अभी मार्केट में.
Nice. And you have uniquely used digital marketing. Uniquely used digital marketing. And I know Chayos has done a lot of physical hard work and Chai Point and raised a lot of money to reach where they are today. But you have used uniquely digital marketing, Instagram, YouTube, million plus followers there. I have the data also. What makes it so unique? How did you use the digital marketing to your advantage to build such a brand? Because that's very important for this audience. How to build a brand without spending a lot of money. And that's very important to know for these people. If you can do it, can they also do it?
सो जब मैं शुरू में अपना रोड साइड पे ठेला चलाता था तो बहुत सारे इंटरव्यू लेने आते थे न्यूज़ वाले, ब्लॉगर्स, तो वो मेरी चाय नहीं पीते थे, उससे ज़्यादा मैं उससे बातें करते थे. तो इट केप्ट ऑन हैपनिंग. अब आप जैसे यहाँ बुलाया तो आना चाहिए, या उनको उन्हें क्वेश्चन पूछा तो यू शुड गिव आंसर्स. सो आई केप्ट ऑन डूइंग एंड इट विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम आई बिकम अ वेरी गुड स्पीकर. तो चाय से ज़्यादा बातें बिकने लग गई. तो उधर मैंने उस टाइम पे वो फ्लो, पहले कोई और चैनल पे सब्सक्राइबर्स बढ़ते थे और चैनल पे उनके लाइक्स एंड शेयर्स बढ़ते थे, तो हमारी टीम ने बोला सर अपना भी चैनल खोल देते. तो माई टीम मेड द चैनल एंड वी स्टार्टेड क्लिपिंग आउट एंड अपलोडिंग फ्रॉम आवर चैनल. तो वी गॉट मिलियंस ऑफ व्यूज एंड मिलियंस ऑफ फॉलोअर्स. So with no money, with just phone on the front camera, I started making videos in Corona time. So it went viral and so many my podcast को करोड़ों views मिलने लग गए. तो वही मेरा मतलब 2 ब्रांड हो गया. MBA चावला, there are 2 brands, Prafull, Billore, me as a founder, and MBA चावला as a company. सो पहले बातें भी की, वीडियो गए और फिर लोगों ने चाय पीना स्टार्ट किया, एंड दैट्स हाउ वी एक्सपेंडेड.
Just to tell them, you already have how many stores? How many?
150 plus.
150 stores. And and how much money have you raised so far?
Zero.
Zero. Hey guys. So it's just the point that I'm trying to prove is that if you have a even not so unique, not so very hi-fi technology-led angle, even a very common angle of a Chaiwala or a chai ki dukaan, if you use your digital marketing skill set, if you use your unique guerrilla marketing skill set, you can build a large business using digital today without, imagine you could not have done that 10, 20 years ago. There was hardly no possibility, it was capitalist world. You wanted to advertise, you had no free advertising. There was nothing called free advertising. At most that you could do was email spamming. Beyond that, there was nothing existed. And thanks to Facebook, thanks to Instagram, thanks to WhatsApp, thanks to YouTube, and thanks to IndiaMART also, please. उसके लिए भी ताली बजाएं.
मेरे शुरू के बर्तन इंडिया मार्ट से ही खरीदे थे सर.
बर्तन भांडों के लिए IndiaMART काफी काम आता है. Okay, guys, we have 3 minutes left. In case you guys have any questions for any of these panelists, I'll be more than happy to take that. Please, there's one person, one lady here at the back.
Hi, Prafull, this is for you. I really follow you and I really admire the way you have taken your brand. So, my simple question, maybe you can answer very candidly. What is that one good or bad habit that has taken you this far?
मैं थोड़ा बेशर्म हूँ कि मतलब जब शुरू में, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम वेरी स्क्रैच. ऑल्दो ये स्टोरी बोल के लगेगा कि सिंपैथी गेनर एंड ऑल, बस आई रियली स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम, आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर कैट एंड जीमेट टू गेट इनटू द टॉप बिजनेस स्कूल ऑफ इंडिया कि भाई एसी वाली जॉब मिलेगी, ये होगा. बट देन आई वर्कड एट मैकडोनल्ड्स 6 months, देन स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम ठेला. 8,000 रुपीज़ के इन्वेस्टमेंट्स है. सो कई स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स से मैं आज भी मिलता हूँ, वो भी मुझसे मिलते हैं, तो उनको बड़ी फंडिंग का रहता है, बड़े लोगों का बड़ा परफेक्शन का रहता है. तो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि अगर आपको बिल्डिंग बनानी है तो आज की 4 ईंटें ला के रख दो. अपने आप कल सरिया आएगा, परसों रेत आएगी, सीमेंट आएगा और एक दिन आपकी बिल्डिंग बन जाएगी. जल्दी किसको है? तो दिट हैज़ बीन माई मंत्रा थ्रू आउट माई लाइफ. और उसी से MBA चायवाला, जिस पे लोग हंसते थे, मजाक उड़ाते थे, ट्रोलिंग करते थे, रोस्टिंग करते थे, उसका 150 आउटलेट हो गया है. और हम विदेशों में हमारी चाय पत्ती जा रही है, पानी का बॉटल जा रहा है, चाय मसाला जा रहा है. तो अगर मैं थोड़ा बहुत ये ब्रांड अगर बिल्ड कर सकता हूँ विद दिस नेम MBA चायवाला विद अ डिग्री इन इटसेल्फ, तो आप भी अपनी कहानी तो बना ही सकते हो. मतलब कुछ ना कुछ तो कर ही लोगे आप लोग.
Thank you so much and keep it up.
One minute left. One more question. At the front.
So this is for Jaji. Jaji, aha kahan chi?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
He's speaking in Mathli. So
Yes. So the reason why I did so is that you guys are doing building for Bharat. And my question is for you. We spoke about what was there 50 years ago and what was mainstream at that time. There was westernization that had happened, and that has led to probably things which are pushed onto us from Western part and has become mainstream now. Now you're bringing Ayurveda, right? And through again something which is in a form which is digitized.
So
and
what is the
available to-
question?
Yes. So what are the specific parts that you're bringing from the Indian ecosystem along with rejuvenating what was there 50 years ago?
see, if I'm being very truthful, we don't actually need to do a lot of things. बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. सिर्फ जो है उसको सही फॉर्म और कंटेंट में शेयर करने की और आगे बात रखने की बात है. क्योंकि ज़्यादातर चीज़ें या सब कुछ ऑलरेडी आज से 5,000 साल पहले बहुत हद तक किया गया है, राइट? उसको सही कॉन्टेक्स्ट में और सही कंटेंट में आगे रखने की चीज़ ज़रूरत है. इफ़ यू कैन जस्ट डू दैट and just be an arbitrator of truth, which is to make sure that there is no alteration or unnecessary modification in that, I think we would do a great justice to a form of medicine like Ayurveda, right? And to just sum up, I'll add one point here, is that 10 years before, living in tier 1 cities in India was a big advantage, right? But in 2020 and going beyond 2020 is 2021, if you are a startup founder coming from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6 cities, you have the biggest advantage, right? Because you understand the consumers there, which is very difficult to understand if you've stayed your entire life in a tier 1 city. Thank you.
So guys, the time's up. The only thing that we wanted to bring out from this panel is that there are so many unique opportunities in India to build for Bharat, and you want to raise money by saying that I am building for Bharat, so is money available. You don't want to build money, take money and build for Bharat. There are so many unique use cases available to be built in India, for India, and so many ideas here. So these are some of the use cases. I mean, there must be hundreds of those many use cases which is there. Please grab and do more entrepreneurship and successful entrepreneurship. Come back next year on this stage with me on Building for Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dinesh ji, and this fabulous panel for a very candid conversation. And with that, can we have a big round of applause again for this very candid and esteemed panel, please?